Yo, what's up guys, my name is Everman and welcome back to another video on my channel. So what I'm going to do today is I will turn a basic chord progression into a really nice, rich and full sounding progression. And for this video I've already prepared a basic chord progression and this one sounds like that. So what we have right here is really the bare minimum for a chord progression. So for each chord we have 3 notes and this is really the bare minimum. However, as you can see and as you might be able to tell by listening to it, it sounds pretty basic. So what I'm going to do in today's videos, we will basically take this progression right here and turn it into a really nice, full, also somewhat emotional sounding progression. So yeah, the first thing that I would do now is I would search for that emotional note. So this is something that I always do in my tracks. I always put these emotional notes on top of my chords. So that is a note that literally works on each chord that you have. So let's say you do know the key that you're working in. So this one would be, for example, E major. For E major, the emotional note is the E. So if you're working in, I don't know, A major, your note would be A, your emotional one. So if you don't know your key, and you want to find it out, you just have to find out which note is really dominating your chord progression. So for this one, you can literally hear it. The E works really on each chord. So that's what I'm going to do first now for this progression. So I'm going to take the E. So here we have it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it 1 octave above here. And then I'm just going to draw in an E on top of each chord right here. Works on each chord as you can see, and it already gives it a really nice, more of an emotional character, which I really like for my chords. Then next up, what I would do is I would probably take the bass notes and just copy and paste these. What you can do is you can actually copy them down, so this way you get more body for your sound, and then you just grab your bass notes again and actually put them an octave up. And now this is already looking much fuller. So you know, if you just look at your progression, you already see maybe where you want to play some more notes. So for instance, between that E that we have and those lower notes, there's still quite a gap here and here. So naturally you would already think maybe we could add one in those gaps. So let's try this out. So for instance, here the C sharp works really nice between those 2 notes. And you could also add it here, works here as well. Maybe we could also add it here. So this already sounds much better than what we started with, sounds way fuller and more exciting in my opinion. What always works nice is if you have notes that repeat quite a lot. So let's say you have a progression and all of the notes are changing quite a lot and the notes aren't really repeating. It might also be too basic or too, you know, not that smooth. But if you pick notes that really repeat each other quite a lot. So basically we have these notes right here just repeating on each chord. Or then for example we have the C sharp here repeating 3 times, the A 2 times. So we do still have some gaps in here, so we can still try to fill those up with a note. So for instance, I think for the second bar, putting an A here, so just repeating this one should work nice. So here the B works really nice because we're having the B also here. And maybe the G sharp at the end. So let's see how this sounds. I'm not too sure about the G sharp here. So you see it's also sometimes you try out notes and if it doesn't fit, just remove it again. But as you can see, you don't need to squeeze a note really into every gap. Maybe to add some variation to those top notes, we could try to turn the E into a D sharp and this way, you know, add a variation to that last chord that we have. So again, let's take a final listen to this. So right now we have 4 different chords, and what I actually like to do is to, you know, duplicate those and to have a chord progression over 8 bars and then to change up 1 chord in the second half. So let's also do this right here. So I think what we could try to do is to maybe change up this 3rd chord right here in the second half. So what I would start with is if you want to change a complete chord in your second half to create variation, I would check out the root notes again, your bass notes. Yeah, I think if we maybe put the C sharp here to a G sharp maybe, it could work really nice, I think. So right now the chord doesn't sound that nice anymore, because if you do a change at the bottom with our bass note, we probably also have to change our top notes again. So let's do that again. So as I said before, you can always keep that emotion note that you have, the E. The C sharp also works on each chord, as you can see here. So we can also keep that one, but we definitely need to change those 4 right here. So I'm just gonna grab the G sharp again. I'm gonna put it here again. Then we can also try to put it here again. Then let's try to fill up that gap here. So the note that also always works is picking that note that's like right in the middle between your 2 root notes. So in this case, we want to be looking for that note that's right in the middle between that G sharp, which is the D sharp. Then let's maybe put 1 more here, maybe the B again. So again, you know, try to repeat some notes. And then to create that final variation, we could again change the last bar right here to sort of create the final of the chord progression, if that makes sense. What I always like is going up with the last chord. It kind of, you know, shows, all right, this is the final of your progression. I feel like we're still missing a note in this gap right here. So again, one trick that also always works is just picking a note that you already have within your chord and then just putting it an octave up or down. So for instance, here we have the B, so we can also put it here. This works 100%. And then for the last chord, I think we can add the C sharp here as well. So we literally have it on each chord, and this helps to really keep each chord within our progression really, really smooth. All right, so let's check out the final progression. Nice, so I think this sounds really nice and full, exciting, but let's take a listen again to what we started with so that we have a reference to that basic progression that we had before. And once again, the new one. Nice, so I think this really shows the difference between a beginner basic chord progression and a really nice kind of professional chord progression. Now obviously again, you could still just use that first basic progression, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think this just sounds way more interesting in my opinion. So before I end the video, you still have the chance to pre-save my upcoming song called Worst Way, which will drop this Thursday. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did so, subscribe, comment with your feedback, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.